Next generation meteorologist Joe Shaka here with the tropical update for October 24th, 2022. And now, look at this. 2 days later, we have another area of interest, which I have been talking about, that was, I guess you could say, under the radar for some people, but certainly I was looking at this at least. But anyway, this is a 94L. And this very well should become 95L as the week goes on. I'll explain what's going to happen here. So this is 94L. This obviously comes up. We talked about this back on Saturday. This coming up just to the east of New England, then curving out, scraping southern Nova Scotia, and then heading eastward out to sea after that. Now this 95L is a little bit more conspicuous, if you will, as it is a area that is not really there though, but it looks like at the moment it's going to be some frontal situation as we get towards the end of the week, and then maybe some wave that develops on that and then moves north after that. Actually, I forgot. I should have put it on here, but I didn't think it was needed at the time. But the 12Z Dwarf gets that to almost a hurricane in 5 days, that area right here, that yellow area, right up to about here roughly, almost 35 north. The 12Z Dwarf, and actually the last few runs of the Dwarf, almost had that, if not a hurricane, in 5 days. So that might be overdone. However, though, it shows the threat of what could happen in this kind of pattern with the MJO in phase 6 collapsing probably through the null phase and the longer term, but at least over the next week or so, remaining in phase 6. There's the European, there's the JMA bringing it borderline phase 6 and 7. And when you're in phase 6 and 7, this, even though it's a little bit further east, certainly it's working with 94L and probably is going to do the deed with what will likely become 95L down the road if the models continue to show development. But you can see that phase 6 and phase 7, that enhancement off the East Coast up to north to New England and certainly Atlantic Canada. So that looks like it's going to work very nicely for at least one, if not two of these disturbances over the next week or so. So you can see what that looks like there. Ocean temperatures plenty warm enough. You know, here are the anomalies for departures from normal, several degrees Celsius above normal, which helps the convective processes develop and, of course, gets the whole system to organize. And, of course, water temperatures, let's see here, roughly 80 degrees, which is 26 Celsius. Roughly, here's obviously the Gulf Stream, so roughly somewhere along that line right here that I'm using with my mouse, but roughly an idea of where 80-degree water is, and certainly where both of these features are now is 80 degrees roughly, but the second feature that the yellow area the Hurricane Center has is got a little bit more room to work with that warm water as it would be coming north. And also there's the Gulf Stream, maybe even 82 degrees in the Gulf Stream. So certainly could get a little bit of a jolt. But overall, you can see the water being warmer than normal definitely helps this out. Otherwise, it may not be as tropical as if it was near normal or even below normal. But certainly this warmer than normal water in the North and Northwest Atlantic does help out with these systems becoming more tropical than non-tropical or cold core. Here's the ocean heat content as well. Certainly you can see a little bit of a slice there in the Gulf Stream. But overall, it is an impressive situation. Here's the upper motion. I call it the upper motion, but here's the vertical velocity. But the blue is where air is rising. The yellows and the oranges is where air is sinking in the atmosphere. But you can certainly see for this week that's going on now, the upward motion is over the Atlantic Basin. You can see how the Japanese model is showing the enhanced precipitation with both of these features. And there's that classic ridge over troubled water, and there's that lower than normal heights down in the Caribbean, the system again a little bit further north than that, especially the second one. So there's that nice connection that I like to see there. So that's this week. And then next week, you can see more spread out. The system somewhere in the North Atlantic, and maybe there could be something down in the more deep tropics, which could be interesting given that it's late October. But it can happen, but it's not as common. So we'll see if that works out in the longer term. And then again, there's that higher than normal heights. There's that ridge over that troubled water look again. So that's the Japanese. The GFS ensemble, see the first wave, 94L right over here. The second one's a little further west over here, and just conglomerates of lines. But overall, you can see a couple of close calls for southern New England and certainly Nova Scotia over the next 7. This is run out through 10 days, but certainly over the next 7 to 10 days, there will be some close passes of some interesting features. Whether or not they are fully named or not remains to be seen, but certainly they'll be around. And the European is struggling to see this. You can see the European is struggling to see both of these features. However, same kind of idea. They come up and then they curve out. So we'll see what this looks like as the week goes on. That's it for now, and thank you for watching.